I've got this super cute book, Enemy Pie by Derek Munson, and I'm going to show you exactly what questions to ask your child while you read this book together so that you get the most out of reading comprehension. Themes developed in this book are friendship and inclusion, the danger of prejudgment, empathy, and perspective. I almost couldn't read my own handwriting. Conflict resolution, obviously, and kindness. First question, central idea. What problem is the main character facing? What does he want? All right, so on the first couple pages, the main character has described this new kid who came in town. This new kid did a couple things that made him feel excluded. And yeah, that's no good. So he's like, all right, my enemy is this new kid. That's the problem he's facing. What does he want? He simply wants to feel included with his friend group. And the new kid did a couple things that made him feel excluded. So, problem he's facing, new kid made him feel excluded. What does he want? He wants to feel included. All right, Dad's giving him the recipe for enemy pie. Character relationship, next question, character relationship. Do you think the main character's dad will make things better or worse for him? So the main character shares all of this with his dad, and his dad is like, I have the perfect solution for you. This is what I do with all of my enemies. I make them enemy pie. So this would actually kind of be like a prediction question at this point. Do you think the main character's dad is going to make things better or worse for him? And also, like, in what way? Is enemy pie actually going to like do something bad to the enemy, to like conquer the enemy? Or is enemy pie going to solve this problem in a different way? So we kind of don't know, but a kid might have a guess at how they think it's gonna unfold. The main character thinks enemy pie is like gonna make their enemy's hair fall out, something like that. So the main character thinks that enemy pie is going to make something bad happen to the enemy. Next question, analyze point of view. What does the main character believe is happening? What do we know that he doesn't? What do we probably know that he doesn't? All right, so the main character, like I just said, believes that the enemy pie is gonna do something terrible to the enemy. It's gonna make their hair fall out. I think he says a couple other silly things. Yeah, but the kid is like, I really don't know what this pie is gonna do. And the dad's like, I can't tell you. Because you have to be part of this plan, but like in a secret way. So main character thinks that the pie's gonna make something terrible happen to his enemy, but we as the reader are probably suspicious that like, no, that's just a cherry pie. The dad is up to something. The dad has a different solution to this problem that the kid is not expecting. So we might be suspicious. All right, next question, character relationship. How does the main character's dad help the main character? Okay, so here the main character's dad has been like, you're gonna secretly participate in this. What you have to do is go spend the day with your enemy, but you have to trick them. You have to pretend that you really like them, and you have to try to have fun with them. So the dad is forcing the kid to have a different perspective, but telling him that it's part of this secret plan that is actually gonna like foil his enemy. But what the dad is doing, like I said, is forcing the kid to have a positive perspective. Your part of the plan is you have to go to your enemy's house and you have to pretend to have fun with them. You have to pretend that you're friends, and you have to do this all day. So the dad is forcing the kid to completely change his perspective, which essentially is basically erasing the prejudgment, one of our themes, basically erasing the prejudgment that the kid had and forcing the kid to act as if he had no prejudgment at all. So here you can see like the themes of the danger of prejudgment coming in. Now we're going to try to erase that prejudgment, act like it never happened, and the importance of perspective taking. So like just how you look at a situation is going to determine like your behavior in it. So the dad is forcing the kid to look at a situation like you have to have fun. You have to go pretend to be friends. And what do you know? I mean, you can probably predict at this point it's going to happen. They're gonna have a great day. Okay, so their day begins. They are pretending to be best friends. They are having the required fun. Okay, end of the day is nearing. Character development. Next question. What was the turning point for the main character? Where did he understand something new? Where he was like, no, I want to include this kid. Like, now we're like best friends. This is great. So he invites his friend, I think the kid has a name, Jeremy. He invites Jeremy back to his house, and he's got a tree house. Tree house is like sacred space for the main character, and Jeremy's like, oh, I want to go in your tree house. The problem for the main character is that the main character wrote Jeremy Ross on a piece of paper on his enemy list in the tree house. So posted in the tree house is a piece of paper that says enemy list, Jeremy Ross. But now they're best friends, and the main character can't let Jeremy see that. So he runs up to the tree house, he crumples the piece of paper up, and is like, okay, now you can come up into my tree house, which leaves a lot of suspicion and leaves the reader a little bit on the edge of their seat, because they're like, oh my gosh, is Jeremy gonna like look at the piece of paper and then they're gonna have a falling out, and Jeremy's gonna know that the main character actually hates him. So a little bit of suspense here for the kid. But we see themes of like inclusion coming around and kindness coming around, because both kids are feeling included and both kids are being really nice to each other. They've actually had a lovely day together. All right. Next question. Oh, thank God, Jeremy Ross never found the piece of paper that said my number one enemy is Jeremy Ross. So everything's okay as far as that goes. All right. Next question. Did I skip one? No, we're good. They're in the tree house, they're home, they're having dinner, and they get the pie out, and the main character is like, don't eat the pie. He doesn't know what's going on yet. Next question, analyze point of view. How do different characters see the same situation differently? So all three of these characters have different information. Jeremy Ross thinks that this is just some great cherry pie, and I'm just enjoying cherry pie at my friend's house. The dad knows that this is just cherry pie, but the dad also knows that his son thinks this is some kind of magical enemy pie that is going to do something to ruin his enemy. So dad is kind of playing a trick on his son, because he never lets his son in on it. He never literally tells his son, like, no, this is actually pie. And the main character, of course, is like, no, this is enemy pie. I don't want to make Jeremy Ross's hair fall out. Don't eat the pie. So point of view is important here, because literally all three characters have different information and are viewing this situation differently. Next question, central idea. Okay, is the main character different at the end versus the beginning? What changed? The main character is definitely different at the end versus the beginning, because he was forced to have a new perspective. He was forced to have a positive perspective and go have fun with the kid who he thought was his enemy. He was forced to erase his prejudgment and behave as if this was his best friend. He was kind, he was included, and now he and Jeremy Ross are like best friends. Whether he literally learned anything or not might depend. That's actually up for grabs. Like, did he learn that he was about to miss out on the opportunity of a friendship because he was judging this kid too soon? We actually don't know. We actually don't know, but the reader definitely learns that. So final question, central idea. What has the reader learned through their friendship developing? The reader has definitely learned that when you prejudge a person and when you allow yourself to have a negative perspective kind of like right off the bat, you could lose out on an opportunity of a great friendship. The reader has learned through their developing friendship that when you look at a situation with empathy and can like try to force yourself to have a positive perspective, then that perspective might actually kind of just like become the new reality. were kind to each other, they included each other, and they became best friends. And none of that would have happened if if the main character's dad hadn't created that situation where like, hey, go just pretend that you're friends. And lo and behold, they actually became friends. So that is Enemy Pie. Themes were friendship and inclusion, danger of prejudgment, empathy, perspective, conflict resolution, and kindness.